Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC, and today I will be reviewing the redesigned Arbor Coda. This board is equipped with Arbor's directional camber, so you still do have camber from contact point to contact point, but that apex is going to be shifted back pretty much right at the graphic line where it cuts to black. That's where the apex is going to be, so all that power is going to come from your back foot, and you can really back foot steer and push off it. This board comes in a 155, a 158, 159 wide, and 161. So when I rode this board, I went to Copper Mountain. It was a colder day, very flat light, pretty decent amount of snow dropping from the sky. It did end up turning into sunny and pretty breezy, so all of that snow wind loaded to one side of the mountain where it became pretty choppy because all those skiers with the flat light, they were stopping, making push piles, making it super annoying. The other side of the mountain, however, was pretty good groomers where you can lay a fresh trench and it's all good. I used my Ride Fuse boots and Jones Mercury bindings. The flex on this board is going to be right around the middle of the road, possibly even a little bit softer, I would say, where the tail is going to be stiffer than the nose for sure, where you do have that directional camber, so a little bit more rigidity in the tail there so you can really step on it. The nose does feel a little bit softer because you do have all of this surface area, and that setback camber, it does feel a little bit looser. In between the feet, you're right in the middle of the road there, where you can torsionally flex it pretty easy. It doesn't really fight you all that much, so micro steering, all good there. When it comes to stability, the board doesn't feel as stable as it should, honestly. Where on that chundery push pile stuff, you feel yourself skipping over those push piles a little bit more and then re-engaging the edge. When you are on smooth groomers, however, it does hold extremely well. You don't really have to worry about it. But in that chundery stuff, I did notice it skipping around, not really being able to hold its edge as well as I expected. This board kind of was a little lackluster in the Ollie department. Even though that tail is on the stiffer side, when you would go to Ollie, you wouldn't feel that abrupt snap or anything. It almost felt a little bit soggy to it. That being said, when you are taking off and landing, you did have a really good edge hold on it. It just lacked that abrupt snap where you're like, I'm gonna Ollie this so sign right now, is more of like a wah instead of a nice pop. This board is actually really butterable on the nose, not as much on the tail, but when we do focus on the nose, you do have a nice sweet spot right behind that contact point. So when you do load into it and really press into it, it is gonna hold you. It does snap you out a little bit. You might have to work a little bit more to get a bigger Ollie out of it, but you still get a nice little pop out. When you are buttering on the tail, it is gonna fight you a little bit more because of that setback camber on it, but you still do have a decent sweet spot on it right around this little X on the graphic here in the back. I would say right behind that is gonna be your money zone, where it will snap you right out, but just like I said before, feels a little soggy on that snap. Why don't you subscribe, click the bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything we have coming out. This board carves extremely well on smooth groomers. High speed, low speed, all of that pretty much on smooth groomers, feel free. Get low to the ground, do really anything you want. When you do get into that chundery section though, just be prepared. On those medium carves in the chunder, it might skip around on you where it'll skip over that chunder pile, re-engage the edge, and then keep going. When you get to the large carves and you get to those push piles or anything like that, hold on pretty much, because you'll skip over, go like 5 feet, and then re-engage the edge, and it gets a little bit sketchy at that point. When you are Euro carving it, it does Euro carve extremely well. Feel free to put those nips to the ground or drag some ass, but make sure it is on a smooth groomer. I did notice at that medium speed or those slower speeds, it did Euro carve a little bit better, which kind of feels a little weird just because you're used to coming into it with speed so you can make it the full way around. This board is for pretty much that total recreational free rider. They're just going out there, gonna have a good time, cruise some nice smooth groomers. They're not out there to break any speed records or anything like that. Maybe they're teaching their 3-year-old how to snowboard. Pat Moore, I'm looking at you. But you know, just that kind of rider. And if you want to support us further, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. Honestly, this board was fine. It was a great board if you're just cruising the mountain, not really caring about anything, just had no place to be. It was fine. I wasn't really into it because it's not really my style of riding, where I kind of like to go a little bit harder, that sort of thing. But I understand who it's for, and that it is for that person that just kind of likes to go out on the mountain and have a good time, you know? Maybe teaching somebody how to ride, or just want to find little pockets of snow to just slash. Comparable boards: the Ride Moderator, K2 Passport, and Gnu Hyper. Recommended bindings: the Arbor Cypress, the Jones Orion, and the Union Force. This has been my review of the Arbor Coda. If you liked it, why don't you go check out one of the reviews from our comparable boards.